everybody, it's Tim here, and today we are going to make some fried chicken. I've made this recipe for a lot of years. I love fried chicken. It's one of my favorite foods, and so I hope you enjoy it too. So let's get started. We're going to start out with 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And by the way, I'm making 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 drumsticks, 6 chicken legs. So, I mean, you can kind of measure out, average out the different amounts depending on how much chicken you're trying to make. But anyways, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and then we're going to measure out about 3.5 tablespoons of salt. This is a salty recipe. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to measure, just guesstimate here and say about 1/2. All right. And then 4 tablespoons of ground pepper. I'm just going to pull it right out of the shaker here because I'm lazy. Excuse me, I said it's 2 tablespoons of ground pepper. You put 4 in there, you might set your mouth on fire. This is why I always write out my recipes beforehand and put them in front of me, because I forget things or get confused. Okay, and about a tablespoon of garlic powder. And about a 1/2 tablespoon of onion powder. So a 1/2 tablespoon. Sometimes, after you've had spices for a while, they kind of get dried up into just one big blob, and you have to hit them on the counter or something to get them out of there. You could just stick a knife down in there too. That'd work fine. And then a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and make sure it is actually a teaspoon because cayenne pepper is hot and it, again, will set your mouth on fire. But it does have a wonderful flavor. All right, so we're going to take and stir this up. You want it to be well stirred. You want to make sure it's all mixed in together. All right, and then we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to take a cup of buttermilk. Now, if you have a lot of time, take your chicken and just let it soak in the buttermilk for, an hour or 2 in the fridge. Even overnight if you want to, because that gives it a wonderful flavor. I don't have that kind of time today. So I'm just going to kind of dip it in the buttermilk, and then we're going to put it in the flour. Before we do that, I need to grab something to put the chicken in. There we go. So, into the buttermilk. And then into the flour. Now, when you get it into the flour, you want to pack that flour down right on top of that chicken, because you want tons and tons of this flour on your chicken. So it makes a really nice golden crust when you fry it. And then just kind of shake it off very gently. You don't want too much coming off. And then do that with the rest of them. Pack it in, remember. 3. Don't forget to dip it in the buttermilk. I almost did just now. kind of a messy recipe, but oh, it is so good. If you want to be really fancy, oh, there I went. If you want to be really fancy, you could dip it in the buttermilk, then take it over and dip it in the flour, dip it back in the buttermilk, and then real quick come back to the flour. It'd be like a double layer. I'm too lazy to do that. Knowing my luck, I'd just make a big mess, big gooey mess. All right, so now we're going to take this chicken and we are going to put it either in a frying pan with oil. If you do it that way, you want the oil temperature to be about 375. If the oil gets to a point where it is smoking, you've got it too hot. You do have to be very careful with that type of frying, because you do need a good amount of oil, and if it splashes out, especially if you're on a gas stove, it will catch on fire, so be careful. But I'm going to use a deep fryer, and I've got the deep fryer set at 375, and so I'm going to pop these into the, I guess I can do that right now. A little messy, but that's all right. So I'm going to pop about 3 of these in at a time, because my deep fryer is kind of small. We're just going to, I'm going to get one more in. And we're just going to close the lid and let the deep fryer go down into the oil so that this can fry. And after it's fried, I'll show you what comes out. We'll be right back. All right, so our fried chicken is finished. I just pulled it out of the deep fryer a few minutes ago. Well, the second batch, I should say. And I'm about ready to give it a try. But before I do, I just wanted to mention, I forgot in the last part of the video, that you need to leave it in the deep fryer at 375 for about 15 minutes. If you want to be really safe, you could use a meat thermometer, and you want to reach an internal temperature of 175. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But all right, let's try a piece. Oh. The skin has a wonderfully strong flavor. You can taste the garlic and the onion powder so much. Not overpowering, just enough. Excellent. All right, that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or anything at all, just leave it down at the bottom. And until next time, enjoy. Goodbye.